Hello, dudes, dudettes, and everyone out there, and welcome to another Stormbound video. As I promised, today I'm going to be doing a little bit of an unboxing video, in which, as you can see, I already have enough gold to open 82 books, which I think is going to be a lot, and I think I can basically guarantee 2 legendary cards, at least. It's not guaranteed, of course, but since it's so much money, I think it's going to be at least something very big. Okay, I got 20 fusion stones. Starting. And let's see what else we got. Oh, well, this is the normal books that I get because of being in the top at least 250, I believe. 2 heroic soldiers, a retired commander, and pictures of the melee. Train knights, which is, of course, pretty good, I think. And now, the big chest that I am so excited to open it. Heroes chest. 2,000 coins, which is, of course, insanely good. Just this is enough to open what's it called? Not to open, to upgrade 2 new cards. So yeah. Ooh, yeah, 70 more rubies. I don't think I will be able to buy 2 heroic tomes, but at least I will open at least once. At least one of them. So I think that will be good. Siege Breakers, the one card that has killed me around 2 or 3 times in the videos that I have made up until now. Yeah. Very good card, I guess. We can just have this one on the board. Gathering Troop, pretty interesting. It can be pretty useful, but if they get destroyed, the value is not that good. But, it can be said the same about a lot of cards. Self Cleanse, so I can just heal up intoxicated troops. Blood Ministers. I already most of these cards I already have them at max level, but hey, having these cards getting repeated, it gives me additional gold. Toxic Sacrifice, one of my favorite cards in the game. Agile Warriors. It will be nice to get this one on a bigger level. Maybe I can get yeah, it can be useful sometimes, I guess. Age the Dustbringers, if used correctly, is very broken. But the mana, of course, it's something to take into account. It costs 7 mana. You cannot use this all the time, unless you're using Winter Pact, I guess. Visions of the Grove, pretty good. But yeah, you need to drag on the game to the late game, so you can actually have good value with this card. Moonlit Airy, of course, to spam more satires. It's very good. Crimson Sentry, good AoE damage, and it advances to spaces. Marked as Prey, okay. I used to pack this card a lot, but yeah, people just had so many troops in the board that converting one to my side was not that worth it, but hey, it can be pretty useful sometimes. Destructibots, probably the most used card in the entire history of Stormbound because of the strength, the mana, and this 1 damage. It can actually be useful instead of detrimental sometimes. So yeah, already maxed out, but pretty good. Pretty good. Wisp Cloud, a native from Winter Pact. Not much to say about that. Doing damage to frozen units. Prayers, it can be useful, I guess. Debug Loggers, I like this card a lot. Already maxed out. Pretty useful when you try to go with a lot of constructs. Slit Stompers, I guess it's fine since they advance to spaces. It can be a good finisher. True Shot Post, one of the best cards in the game too. Already maxed out. I think epics give you 70 additional gold. So yeah, from the 8,000 gold that I thought that I will be using, to buy the books. I think I will be end up having around 11 or 1200 gold. So yeah, it's going to be a lot, a lot. Gifted Recruits, again, one of the most broken cards in the game. Well, not broken, used because of its utility. Ember Heights. Again, when I was just starting the game, I used this and Marked Spray because I love poisoning units, but yeah, it can be very difficult to use because of the amount of tools sometimes the board has. Minion launchers. I don't really use this one, but it is something to think about, especially in cheap damage decks. Returns of War can be useful, I guess. Mecha Workshop already maxed out. I don't have this card maxed out, and I have seen people using this card. It's pretty interesting, but yeah, I just do not know how to use this card properly yet. Toilet Brothers. I genuinely believe they should nerf this card because at max level it's 15 strength. It advances 3 spaces for just 6 mana. I mean, yeah, bordering your base, but come on, when are you not going to use this passive? When you are absolutely winning, you want to save time and you put it directly in the line of your opponent. Like, what's even the meaning of that passive? Come on, it's almost always used defensively. Noble Vigilantes, pretty good, I guess. In some modifiers in Brawl, it might be good, but yeah, it's a pretty good card, I guess. Sharp Eyes Textiles. Ooh, this one is good again. Some of these cards are very good in Brawl, but in normal or ranked games, you don't see them that often, so having this one might be good. Double Box. They got reworked. Now instead of 3-3 strength, it's 4-2, I believe. So yeah, let's see how this rework affects the card. We shall see in this meta. Queen of Hearts, already maxed out. And if I remember correctly, it's 150 extra gold for a repeated legendary card. So yeah, well, yeah, pretty good card. It spawns a lot. It can help you defend and attack at the same time. So yeah, pretty good card. Heroic Soldiers, pretty good. Soul Crushers. I think this was the first epic card that I maxed out. Good memories. As I told you before, Shadowfen is my favorite. Yeah, gotta love Soul Crushers, especially if you got it at good level and the enemy doesn't know how to avoid it since it's so strong. In strength, at least. Harpies of the Hand, maxed out already. Treacherous, sorry, Treacherous Bosoms, I think it's pronounced. Pretty good if you want to cycle, and I think they got buffed last patch. I think not the one that got approved today, the one before that. I think it's going to be pretty strong, especially in decks like in Winter Pact or something that you want to start cycling fast. Gold Grovers, pretty good if you're trying to use a pirate deck, but pirates do not have the best of synergies, so yeah, it can be pretty useful. Siren of Disease, I think I can already max it out, but it's just about if I don't have it maxed out already. Good finisher, it can destroy an attack, and one of the most expensive cards in the game. It used to be, I think it costed 10, but they reduced it, I believe. Nail Blast, of course, with Erin, with this card and Bladestorm, they can actually destroy a board and give you a very good advantage. Pretty good card in that combo. Dark Harvest, you can use it with Erin as well, but in some decks of Queen of the Hearts you can use it because you already have so many dupes. So yeah, damage to everything basically. The card with more spaces in the game, which is the only card that can advance 4, well, except a villain that can in theory move 4, but yeah, on base stats, yeah, this is the only card that can advance 4 spaces. Very interesting. Personal Server is one of the basic cards, pretty good, I guess, giving strength. A pretty good cheap damage card. Overchargers. Yeah, pretty useful in some decks, especially with Ironclad, of course. Execution. It's basically a must on low elo levels because you can just destroy structures, deal damage to a troop that is annoying you. Yeah, pretty good card. Another one of the basic cards, the only one mana card that can advance a space. Yeah, the effect can be annoying, but it's pretty useful to start advancing. Pulsar Raiders, good finisher. Victors of the Melee again, good AoE damage, but there are some other options, I shall say, especially Blade Storm, since it does damage to everything, but yeah, if you want a troop, Victors of the Melee is a very good card. Final Sacrifice, insanely broken with a specific ancient that if they die because of a spell, they spawn like 12 strength ancient and another space, and it still has the passive, so it basically on max level just for 4 mana you can have a 24 troops in the board, I think. In that combo is pretty good, but not much else aside that. Flashmender is pretty good, gives strength, does damage, advances to spaces, 7 mana, but again, Winter Pact, it's not that much of a nerf, I guess. Prime Oracle Bradley. Ooh, I like this. I don't have this card maxed out yet. It can be pretty good in some, especially in Shadowfen decks, since they have so many weak cards. Or well, a lot of 1 strength cards. So they can get their strength maxed out thanks to this card. Pretty good. I really want to max out this card. And Infusion Stones. Pretty good. Pretty good. And the rewards for the... What? 60? Oh, the nerfs and the patch. Yeah. I get this because of the patch note. Some cards got nerfed that I got maxed out. So in compensation I got 65 Fusion Stones, which I think it's a lot. And 540 coins. In the end I got 10,000. Oh, what the heck? Oh. I forgot to put that. Well, it's fine, it's fine. Well, my daily reward. I guess I'm going to use another book. I don't really buy the pass that much. I only bought 1 book at one time, but it was just because I wanted to max out Totally Elevated. It was my legendary favorite legendary card in the moment. But yeah, I think this is good. I got Vindicators, maxed out, pretty good. Timer Alchemists. I don't really see much people using this card, but it can be useful, I guess, if there are a lot of vitalizing or poisons in the board, but it costs 2 mana. That's an advantage, I guess. Beasts of Terror. It can be pretty good. No, what am I saying? It is a pretty good card. Not only in Dragon decks, which have the best synergy in the game, in my opinion, but also to get rid of, let's say in Brawl, a specific troop gets buffed. Beast of Terror is pretty good since they can do insane damage to it. Well, a good counter to the entire deck because it does damage to the same types. It attacks. Shield Stone. I don't really use this card. I don't really like it, but if I get it maxed out and I get this card again, I can get extra gold, I guess. Birds of Crowley. Okay, this might be good, but again, I don't really use Elders that much, so another card on my repertoire, I guess. Okay, I do not have this card maxed out. I think it got nerfed because the card... I'm not really sure, but the cards cannot move anymore, right? I don't think they do, but yeah, getting this card maxed out is so good because now 10 strength for 0 mana, even if it doesn't move, it's pretty damn good. Malicious Finisher. A lot of Winter Pact decks use this card, so they can overwhelm you with cards that do nothing on your own decks. So yeah, having this one is going to open up so much possibilities now. Well, I will open another one of these books. Another Mythic Tome. Yeah, because I cannot afford another one just yet. Maybe I'll get rubies, but I don't think I can get rubies in the gold paid books. But this one of another one of those. Avian Stalkers, pretty good, I guess. I don't really like it, but another card of the repertoire, I guess. Another devout loggers. Was Hunter, already maxed out, pretty good. When there's a lot of different troops, pretty recommended to max it out, especially since at level 4 it does 2 damage to 3 troops, but at max level it's 3 damage. And believe me, 1 damage can make the difference between losing, well, not even losing, a clutch win or a humorless defeat. I think I have already demonstrated in one of my videos, so yeah, pretty good. Bloodmore Cordia, one of my favorite cards too. Well, basically everything from Shadowfade is my favorite. But I used to have this card on my main deck, but since a lot of people carried Bladestorm back in the day, well, still, but even more back then, yeah, it got countered pretty hard. So yeah, I opted for a different type of deck. Temple Guardian, they have buffed this card like 3 or 4 times, so yeah, it's become pretty strong. Well, at least stronger than it used to be. It's still a bit hard to use, but in some decks it can be pretty useful. Clap of Thunder, I haven't used this card that much, but I guess if you're using cheap cards, you can get this passive best potential pretty quick, but okay, 5 mana it's a bit much for me, unfortunately. Edric the Fierce, one of, in my opinion, weakest legendaries in the game, but it can still get pretty good use, especially if you somehow use it with Dark Harvest in Swarm decks, but something is something, I guess. And because it's maxed out, yeah, a bit more money. Oh yeah, I forgot. I haven't claimed the extra gold that all these extra cards have given me. Let's see how much it is. 2,265 more gold. Yeah, I was wondering about. I was pretty sure that was going to reach at least 1,200 gold, and not even 1,300 gold. So yep, with this, I am going to be buying. How many books are there? 130 books. Wait, I can't even buy so much. Okay, let's do this. Let's see what I got. Head Start. Pretty good in Swarm decks. It can keep your line alive. Pretty good. Primelings for puppies. Giving me more mana. The 4th turn if you start. 2nd turn if you don't. Pretty good, I guess. Mindless Hole. I guess I can use it. Frost Hexers already maxed out. Catchers already maxed out. Hey, love you, buddy. Stream of Consciousness. I guess I can use this sometime, but I don't really use Ancients this much. Pretty good having in hand though. Infinite Loopers already maxed out. It got buffed. I think it's a pretty good buff actually, because the passive is what this card was all about, and buffing the passive was pretty good. I don't really like this card with Land Deceivers. Well, okay. If I have it maxed out, more gold, I guess. Chargers, pretty good. Armed Schemers. This card is interesting because the passive is really good, but it's just you cannot get. Usually, you can just win the game with this. They just can't fight with the meta, basically. But hey, if he ever becomes useful, he's going to be pretty strong. Heist Droppling is pretty good, I guess. Cat Heralds already maxed out. Acoustic Elixir, I think it's maxed out, and not. I don't really remember, but pretty good. With Constructs, you can boost yourself a lot. That's with Prawn. I think this card is very broken. I don't know why they reduced the mana, because I think it used to cost 6 with a bigger strength, with a bigger buff, but yet still, it's a bit too much. It gets countered by confinement though. Recruits. Acid Greencourt. I used rubies to max this out. The combo is pretty good, but I need to learn how to use this card even better, because the passive can be really good, especially with soap cleanse. Looters, I don't have this maxed out. It's pretty good because you can just destroy something that is far away. Pretty good. Frontline engineers. I do not really like the passive. I like the concept, but in game it's a bit weird to use, especially since you don't really want your structures to be that up. But something is something. Toxic Sacrifice, Dread Brawlers, Street Squatter Masters. They're using this card with Phineas Finch, so they can just spam you with cards that are useless. Annoying, but the concept of the card is pretty good. If Finch wasn't a thing, he wouldn't be used, so pretty good, I guess. Temple Guardians, Other Tower. I don't really see people using this card, which is weird because if you use it with Dr. Mia, that's a lot of damage, and if you combine it with Bladestorm, you can basically destroy everything. Whoa. But yeah, the mana cost it's maybe a bit too much, and people can just destroy it with Siege Breakers, so yeah, justified. So Purifiers, broken with the Angel Hysteria combo, already maxed out. Great Careers. I think this was the first card, not from any specific rarity, but card itself that I got maxed out. Pretty good since it advances 3 spaces, but there's a lot of competition in Swarm. Warfront Runners, good finisher. Apple Box, Physical Burst, broken with Pelvin de Shavana combo. Pretty useful, but yeah, sometimes it is hard to get the combo if your opponent knows what it's doing. Workshop, pretty good passive, but it can be easily stopped. I think it's balanced at the moment. Fun Companions, I don't really think they need to do much with this card. It gives a lot of strength, but it doesn't have much strength itself, so for 3 mana I think it's balanced. It's pretty good. Son of Alicia, pretty good 1 mana card if you really want to cycle your deck. Leaf Patterns, I do not know why they haven't added something to the passive, because it's insanely easy to get 10 strength that advances 2 spaces for 5 mana, because why would you use anything else? You use this first and then use the other cards. So yeah, I think they need to restrict this card a bit, otherwise it's a bit broken, but well, the mana, maybe it's justifiable, who knows. Red Funds are pretty good, especially with Queen of Hearts, recommended. Pretty good Ancients, it can be really good if your opponent has a lot of strong cards, because if they don't have confinement, this is going to be a sore all the time, because you cannot actually attack it, or if you can, you're going to waste everything, and maybe it's still alive. So yeah, I think it got buffed around a year ago, a bit less maybe. Pretty good. Fnatic Lunas, one of the newest cards. I don't really know if I want to upgrade this one or not. We shall see how it does in the meta. Full of Focus, I don't really like this card, but a structure, I guess, that costs mana, 3 mana, so it can be useful, I guess. Flaming Stream, it can be good, but I just prefer confinement, and if I want to push anything, I have the 4 mana Rodent push and do damage, so I don't really use this one, but it's good, I guess. Conflicted Drakes, pretty good in Dragon decks. Potion of Growth, more health if you really are into that. I cannot say I use this much, but it can be useful in Swarm decks. Raiders, Rapid Mousers, pretty good combination. Interesting combination, maybe. 3 spaces for mana, I think 5 string at max level. Interesting option. Fleet Stompers, Reckless Rushers, they got nerfed, but still I think they're pretty good. For 3 mana, you advance 3 spaces with 4 strength, and even if you do 2 damage to your base, bro, it's 5 damage to the enemy's base. That's at least a quarter of their health if they manage to do it cleanly. Pretty strong card. It definitely needed a nerf, but hey, I'm going to upload someday a guide about Reckless Rush, so low level players can actually climb up, because it's one of my favorite strategies, I shall say. Hair Racing Gods, I don't use this card. A little bit of a bummer, but Salty Outcast. Now this is a good finisher card, especially since they got a bit buffed around half a year ago. Instead of 10, now it has 11 strength, have a bit more of half of the base's health, so very good. Chat to the cardboard, I don't use this card. Winter Chaos, if you are packing a lot of freezing things, yeah, very good. Chaotic Pupil, very good finisher, and if your opponent does not know you have it, you can sneak your way out of it. I like this card, but I prefer some other things. Confinement, very good against pretty strong cards, well, that have a lot of strength. The absolute counter of going big decks, so yeah, it can be very useful, especially at level 5, which it reduces the strength to 1. Lost Sykes, I don't really use this, but I think it's a good option in ancient decks, because it can just be spawned a lot, I guess. Siege Assembly, very good cheap damage card, especially with Dr. Mia, I recommend it a lot. Wakeful of the Skies, I've seen people doing insane damage with this card, but only in Brawl, because that's the modifier that's on. And mana reduction for the structure, so yeah, this one is broken in that, but aside from that, I don't really see it. Triple of the Mind, I don't really use this card, but I think it's 9 strength for 3 mana, so can be useful, I guess. Boomstick Officers, I use this card's effect is pretty good, but hard to use properly since your opponent is just going to bombard you with troops, so yeah, a bit hard to use, especially with 6 mana on it's still. Chillbirds, I think they got nerfed a bit, I don't really remember, but yeah, no, they got buffed, what am I saying? They used to cost 9, now they cost 8. Yeah, they're going to be a bit stronger now. Oh my god. Winter pack users are crazy happy now. Call for Aid, I guess Withering it can be useful, but aside from that, pretty hard to use, especially for so much mana, but we shall see. Sly Boots, it can be pretty useful to confuse troops that are near each other, enemies, so yeah, pretty good, I guess. Like Depthing Riches, these guys used to be broken, but I think they nerf him a bit. Yeah, it can be pretty good, but nowadays I think you can skip its passive a bit easily, so they're balanced, I guess. Glacier Balance, pretty good for winter pack games, since it freezes the foremost, and you can even use Shyvana and the Icicle on top of that, so yeah, pretty good card. I think this is the card with the best passive in the game, because it drains the health of the troops bordering it, so for 4 mana, pretty good, I guess. Scrap Planners, pretty good. If you only have 5 strength mana, this card at max level is 6 strength, so yeah, good luck trying to get rid of this if you don't have the correct cards. Pretty good card. Freebooters, a must have for winter pack day, so you can cycle. I think this is the only reason why winter pack is viable, basically. At least in high elo. Recommended in winter pack games. Mechanical Workers, they can be kind of good, but yeah, to get the passive correctly, it's a bit hard. It can be pretty good sometimes. Sonic, Orchidog, kind of good in pirate decks, but again, pirates do not have the best of synergies. This not compared with other ones, but if you manage to use this one, it got pretty strong, especially for 2 mana. Functional Wilds, a pretty good addition to the constructs, pretty useful. Cabin Girls, pretty good, I guess. White Fossils, I don't really use this card nor see it a lot, so yeah, maybe it needs some kind of buff sometime. Cultists, I don't really see this one either, but buffing it might be a problem, so yeah, let's see how it does sometime later. Obelisk of Souls used to be broken, they nerfed it, instead of doing 3 damage it does 2, so I think it's balanced right now. Anointed Saviors, this card is pretty, I don't think it's broken, but people are using it a lot, especially with Hypnosis decks, so yeah, a pretty good card. Earth Fathers, if this guy gets at least 2 times his passive, you can basically say goodbye to the game, unless you have confinement. So yeah, be careful of this card. Pretty good. Just got kittens. I guess it's good for 2 mana. Dangerous Suitors. This is the best dragon in the game. With its passive in a dragon deck is the one finisher, because unless you have confinement, you cannot stop this guy. Yeah, I like it a lot. It's clouds, agent's charge. Pretty good for getting 3 movement speed. It's pretty good. 6 bouncers. You can use it sometimes with pirate decks, I guess. Ember Heights, Blade Storm, one of the best, maybe even the best spell in the game, since it does so much damage. I think they found the perfect sweet spot for it, doing either 4 or 5 damage at max level, instead of guaranteed 5 damage to everything. Yeah, the possibility of either 4 or 5 is good for me, I think. I think that is a perfect balance, at least for now. Let's see how else. But yeah, we will see this card a lot for years to come, I think. Lucky Charmers, a pretty good pirate in pirate decks. I recommend it. Shitty Gold, a pretty useful card in, what's it called? In what's the name? Reckless Rush. Oh, words are hard. You can. This is one of the basic cards in Reckless Rush. To use a lot of 2 movement speed cards. I recommend it. Fragment Senses. Good in ancient decks, I guess. Caldisteria, broken with awesome purifiers. Pretty good card for cheap damage. Broken Choose. You have a deck that relies on just going head over heels on the opponent's base. Broken Choose can save your ass sometimes if their opponent starts attacking you. So yeah, I think it's pretty good sometimes. Ice Flakes, I don't really like that card. Mischiefs, doing damage to the base as a passive, that's pretty good. The Motivating Strike, I have seen people use this card correctly. I don't really use it because I just use a lot of troops instead of spells, unless I'm using Area, but pretty good. Final Sacrifice, Brothers in Arms. In Knight decks, this might be good, especially in a modifier in Brawl, but aside from that, I don't really see that one much. Struck the Bot and Razor Sharp Linces. I really like both either passives that it has. It can be really useful to have either of them, but but it feels a bit overwhelming, underwhelming sometimes. But yeah, you can use this as a finisher or as a damage dealer, whichever suits you best. Herald's Hymn, very good for finishing, especially if you have something strong that advances at least 1 space. Pretty good. Raiders, Airy, Spirit. I don't really use this card. Good to have it maxed out, maybe. Trusty Shepherds. I have seen people using this card. It might be pretty good sometimes. Lotus Herd, Ludigus, Crypto Sentry, Flameless Lizards. I think this is the newest dragon in the game, if I'm not mistaken. Oh no, one of the newest. But pretty good. Especially with other passives of the dragons. Dragons have such a good synergy. Delegators. Good strength for the mana and spaces it advances, I guess. Snowdrifts. People used to use this card a lot, but they got nerfed a bit, so now it's toned down a bit. Still, the passive can be really good. Root Sages, very good. Especially if you're using Shadow decks, which require 1 string mana cards in the board. There's some melee, Copper Ranger, pretty good with Martha's Prey, and it's called the Amber Heights, there it is. Captive's Charm, pretty good in Feline decks. Red Necklace, another 1 mana card to the board, and pretty good cycle card. Sparkle Kitties used to be more broken since they didn't confuse an ally troop. Now they do, but still, I think it's a pretty good card. I definitely recommend to max out this card if you have it. Bleach Raiders, I don't really see this card that much. Awaken Up to the Wheel, I don't really see this one either. Void Surgers, they got buffed, and there was a period of time in which they were broken. It's a very good option if you don't have Blade Storm at max level, and this one is better, but yeah, we shall see how it does with the new buffs. Heard, one of the best cards in Winter Pact, giving health to one of your troops. Fatus Prophets, I don't see it that much, but 10 strength for 3 mana at max level can be pretty useful if your opponent has a strong card. Westwind Sailors, and Recycle deck, Vanilla, Execution, Damage, Bloody Sisters. With Felons it might be good, but sometimes it's difficult to get the passive, so... yeah, maybe you should upgrade another card instead of this one. Harvesters of Souls, if you manage to get a low mana card or weak card with this one, yeah, it can be very useful. Ministers, Hypnotizing, what else I need to say, just Champions. I don't see this card much, but in Brawl it might be good. Stable Build, pretty good, 2 mana. Just try to destroy something with this. H2 Springers, Souls, a pretty good Storm of the East card, especially for finishing and surprising your opponent, for just 3 mana. Harpies of the Hunt, Personal Servers, Value Troopers, pretty good, especially if you have Cleanse Soap. I'd recommend it a lot. Because of Growth, I don't really see this card, but sometimes it can be useful. Heroic Soldiers, Vanilla card, pretty good, Veterans of War. Vanilla, but a little bit too expensive sometimes. Yeah, you usually want cards that are cheaper. Bounded Diamonds, good in ancient decks, I guess. Needle Blast, Darkest with Chords, Hypnotizing, Moment's Peace. Pretty good card, gives strength and freezes your troops, the enemy troops, so yep, pretty good. Prototypes, Atlantis, Cursed Cemetery, I don't like this card. Album Rock, Vanilla of Structures, you can maybe use it, you don't have anything else. Temple of the Heart, I don't really like this card. Terrels, a good finisher if you manage to pull it off, but a bit too expensive for me, thanks. Original Blueprints, Late Summoners, I guess it can be good, but sometimes it's a bit hard to get the pass, especially if it doesn't kill anything. Sound Drivers, it can be a good surprise, so you can actually get into the opponent's part of the board, but it can be useful sometimes. Lasting Remains, I think that this card should be used more. People just don't use it that much, but who knows. People just might be missing his potential. I really think it's good. Flippy Bad Boxers, I don't really use this card, but good in Felon decks, I guess. Another very good Vanilla card. Rain of Frogs, I love this card so much, especially with Obsidian Butchers. Road Ship. It can be really good with Winter Pack Game, so you can use more cards in just one turn, but aside from that, it can be difficult to find a spot for him in the meta. And a little bit more of this. It's called Rubies? No. Fusion Zones. And the video will be over, but I have another thing. Since I got so many cards repeated from the ones that I have maxed out, I basically got a bit refunded. So I'm just going to buy the most amount of books I can once again, and that'll be for today. Oh my god, I got so much money refunded. So I get to open 75 more books. Let's see, 75. There it is. Sentry, Einlings, Fanatic Lunas, Sacrifice, Overchargers, Harry Chestnuts. Ooh, I like this card. It used to drain 3 strength at max level instead of 2, but still, the strength that it has and the passive, it might be really good. I really would like to use this card more, but yeah, maybe sometimes. Let me Lizards, Free Prototypes, Sharplinces, Salty Outcasts, Moonlit Airy, Heralds Him, Icicle Burst, Conflict Drakes, Sec Bouncers, Clarice with Chords, Confinement, Dangerous Suitors, Northy Block, Cut Threshers, Potion of Growth, Lich Summoners, Feral Shamans. This card can be good, but yeah, for the mana and just using it basically once can be a bit detrimental. You might try to get rid of tanks some other way. Recruits, Dustbringers, Freebooters, Wisp Cloud, Diehards. This is the one card that I told you works well with that one spell that destroys it because it gets the passive twice basically. And aside from that, I don't really see this card, but if you get that combo, it's very good. Shield of Stoneblades, Agents in Charge, Catnip's Charm, Awesome Purifiers, Drive Fonts, Minion Launchers, Obsidian Butchers, one of my favorite cards since it is one of the best finishers in the game, especially with Rain of Frogs or the activated passive of Asher Hatchers. I really love this card. Blade Storm, Mousers, Operators, Petrified Fossils, Witches of the Wild, Cultivating Strike, Underground Spring. Pretty good if you want to give health to your base instead of using this instead of Olf, sorry. But nothing, it's a pretty good card, especially even combined with Olf the Hammer. Mischiefs, Wetland Deceivers, Snowdrifts, Lucil Riders, Broken Earth Drakes, pretty good in Dragon decks, of course with Winter Pact, but a little bit expensive for my taste. Awakening of the Will, Slit Stompers, Flying Limbs, Blessed with Brawn, Terrific Slayers, the counter for dragons, and it advances to spaces, so it can be good if you, for some reason, know you're going to be playing against dragons. Anointed Saviors, First Mutineer, a good finisher, and I guess good with pirates, but if you do not have a lot of pirates, it can be detrimental. Like Workshop, Rock Workers, oh my god, I'm cruising so much, sorry. Pretty good with Winter Pack decks, but you're not controlling where the structure is going to land, it's a bit tricky. And Fell Flares, they got buffed. I think now they do 1 more damage. Again, doing 1 more damage can be the difference between winning or losing, so good for them, I guess. Original Blueprints, Crystal Shields. This card used to be broken because it moved right away the instant you put it, so yeah, giving it 0 movement for the initial turn you put it in, it's more than deserved. Chat to the Cardboard, Toxic Sacrifice, Hammerhides, Stormcaller, pretty good with Swarm, and of course another Satires, but sometimes tricky to get the passive done. Ice Droplings, Trekking Alderman, they used to be broken because now they did 7 or 6 damage just by receiving damage. Now they just do the same amount of damage they receive instead of let's say 6 damage for just 1 damage received or something. But now you don't see them that much, so yeah, maybe a little buff might help them. Delegators, Frost Hexers, Wild Saber Pals, they used to be broken because they didn't take into account allied troops, but now that they do, yeah, it's a bit more tricky to use. Still, if you can get the passive, 5 damage for just 2 mana, it's pretty good. Marta Spray, Wandering Winds, good with Dragon decks, Chaotic Pupile, Temple of the Mind, Fort of Rock, Windmakers, one of the musts if you want to get if you want to have a good answer to tanks and to push them around. They can even be combined with Unhealthy Hysteria. Eternal Ethereals, Mind's Horde, Wakeful of the Skies, Cross of War, Heroic Soldiers, Cursed Cemetery, Temple of Life, Ban Heralds, Wolf Cloaks. I don't really see this card much, but if you're losing, they might come in clutch. Noble Vigilantes, Visions of the Grove, Stable Guild, Shitcut Kittens, Trusty Shepherds, Powder Tower, Westwind Sailors, Spare Dragoning, one of basically the best card from the in Dragon decks along with dangerous suitors because they can just, you cannot kill one without killing the other. Yeah, a very good card. Curse of the Strings, Hypnotizing. What else I need to say? Mechanical Workers, Forefront Runners, Broken Truce, Stream of Consciousness, Malicious Finch, Flooding the Gates. Oh, Flooding Gates! I don't really use that card that much. There are better spells by a long shot. Execution, Soul of Militia, Shady Goal, Melodious Sisters, Anthem Cultists, Fun Companions, GC Leaders, Twilight Prowlers, Bowlers in Arms, Doppelbox, Ultrasonics, Flaming Stream, Divine Reptiles. I think this is the newest dragon in the game. I've seen people use it with dragons, but the passive might be a bit tricky to pull off, so they might be stronger with a buff. I'm not sure. I think we need to see them most to see if they're broken or they need a buff or they're balanced. Yeah, I think we shall see. Ironfell Spire, very good if you try to use toxic decks, but well, not toxic decks, poison decks. But yeah, if you get closed in a lot, it doesn't do much, so be careful. Frontline Engineers, Good Couriers, Siege Assembly, Finite Loopers, Used Champions, Temple of the Heart, Sharp Fist Exiles, Hello Troopers, Vindictive Wretches, Yowling Weavers, another great addition to the dragons, to the dragon decks, because the passive is basically non-effective, so yeah, pretty good. Ice Flakes, Lawless Heart, Snow Basins. I don't see this card much, but if you manage to pull off the passive, it might be really good. Harpies of the Hound, Rogue Ship, and more Fusion Stones. Whew. Yep. That is an unboxing video for ya. That's all the things that you can get if you are at max level and if you have a lot of sparring gold in your hands. Yeah, I think that's it for today. Thank you so much for coming. Don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe. And I'll see you next in another Stomber video. See ya. Bye.